All right, let's try this again. This morning before work, I tried to record a video, and me not paying attention, I made a whole video. I was talking, I was showing stuff with OBS, and I realized I forgot to press record, so it didn't record anything. But here I am. It is Friday evening. It is September 6th. It's 11:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And welcome to another edition of Retweet Reactions with your best friend Justin here. Now, please follow me on X if you haven't. This is my username here, 3MCJD1. So, really what I do here is I just go over retweets and some of my own tweets and just use them as talking points and relate it to what's going on right now, because there's a whole bunch going on right now. There really, truly is. We're living in very crazy times. Someone like me, listen, I'm 27 years old, man, and I'm a young man right now in this world. I'm very concerned about the future because I don't see a bright future for not only my generation, but just the United States and the whole world as a whole. And really, I speak about the truth. I'm not here picking sides. I'm just going to go straight truth. And the truth is going to hurt, unfortunately. And something like this right here, just for starters, I mean, in 2020, Dr. Tedros was Dr. Tedros. 2024, he's simply the director of the WHO. He wasn't, isn't, and never will be a doctor. All of it was a lie. Well, if you haven't realized that by now, because this is old news right here, and I'm not going to spend the video even talking about this. I don't want to say the word, but you know what I'm hinting at. If you still are going to go through life believing what you see on the television, what you hear from politicians, what you hear from heads of corporations, private entities, fully funded by the same people that started the Fed and the mainstream media, I don't know what to tell you if you want to still listen to those people. There's nothing I can tell you. All I can tell you is that you're being led to the slaughterhouse. But anyway, I tweeted earlier today, there's no such thing as black or white anymore. No more Hispanics, Japanese, Italians, French, or Germans. There's just rich people and poor people. If you aren't a billionaire, you ain't part of the club. There is a great reset going on right now. The World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, they made it very clear that there was going to be a great reset. And we're seeing it. That's why countries are being flooded with illegals. It's not because of votes. It's not because the Democrats or the liberals, whoever, want their votes. It has nothing to do with that. That's the mainstream excuse. The reason why this is happening is because this is how you take down a country. There's so many different steps you have to do to take down a nation. And us in the United States, listen, every great nation fails. This is what I don't understand about people. About humans, about the current state, I should say, of humans, is people think this system we live under, that it's going to last forever and all of eternity, and it's never going to change. The U.S. dollar especially, it will forever remain, the foundation of the world's currency system, and is strong, and the market is going to correct itself. Have we not learned from history? Have we not learned that every empire and every nation fails? The way you take down a country, one of the ways, is you take away the culture, you take away the identity of it. So now you have all these people, all these illegals who, mind you, the laws here in the United States don't apply to them. So they only apply for us. Me and you will get arrested as a U.S. citizen, but not an illegal immigrant who might have just killed someone or raped a teenager or something like that. You see, these illegals are getting away with it. We see it in the media all the time. They're telling you about it. I mean, I am amazed. Even in my own town here, I'm seeing them pop up, and they're not criminals. I'm not saying I have a problem with immigrants. I'm not saying I have an issue with immigrants. But there's good people and there's bad people. And there's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things. So what I said after that is immigration will end soon, because that's another goal of why they're just they're flooding all these nations with illegals is because immigration is going to end soon. And if you watched one of my recent retweet reaction videos, I think it was my last video I did with retweet reactions, I showed you a white paper from the New World Order, an agenda from them, and this has been like this. And these white papers that are viral right now, I mean, they've been. You could have discovered this stuff years ago. It's nothing new, and it basically said they want to end immigration. And what a perfect way to end immigration when you're already putting all these people in other people's countries and letting them go there and treating them better than the citizens there, right? This is how you take away the identity and the culture in a nation, to where the people, the natives and the citizens in the country there are now the minority. And that's in the U.S. The U.S., right? The people who were born here are now the minority. So we're going to become global citizens under the New World Order. That's ultimately what's going to happen. That's why we're being flooded with illegals. And it's not even just the U.S. It's Canada, it's Ireland, it's all these Western European countries, the U.K. I mean, you can look up videos as to what's going on there. There's a whole lot going on there. And I don't want to get into it because it's too much. But you can do your own research a little bit. But the goal is they want to make you a global citizen. This might sound like a good thing, because it does sound like a good thing in a way, right? It might sound like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. But there's a more sinister agenda behind this, because, okay, you're a global citizen, and you can go into any country you want, and you don't have to show proof of, like, or talk to these immigration people or whatever. But instead, everything's going to be digital when the New World Order is here. So they got to make sure you have all the vaccines. They got to make sure maybe your social credit score system is working properly, kind of like what China has. That you have a good ranking. You've been an obedient little sheep, and you're following what Big Brother says. Maybe your social credit score system might affect you from going on these planes. And if your if the score system there is bad for you, well, you might lose access to your digital bank, because there's not going to be any cash. There's not going to be any physical means of exchange in the New World Order. It's going to be 100% digital. And you can just be shut off. Or maybe your finances are going to depend on your social credit score system. And if you have a low one, and this is kind of like that episode of Black Mirror, Nosedive. If you ever seen that? Nosedive is the name of the episode of Black Mirror, where they have the social credit score system, and when I forgot the actress's name, but when her social credit score system went down, all of a sudden she went from this high class lady to a bum living on the street. And that is the goal of the New World Order, is they want to have some sort of social credit score system where other people are rating you based on how you're behaving. So, for example, someone like me would be a bum living on the street because of what I'm talking about. So people are going to give me a low social credit score system, right? Because I'm going against Big Brother. I'm going against the government. I'm going against the mainstream narrative, right? And it's not just going to be me. It's anyone who does this. So that's the bigger picture here. And that's what I always try to get people to look at and understand, is that there's a bigger picture and a more sinister agenda to everything that's going on right now. And I want to talk about this, the Tuah girl. I'm sure many of you know, especially if you're younger. If you're below the age of 30, you probably know who this lady is. So there's all these theories, and I've tried looking into it. I don't see anything about her, honestly, except for on X, where people are claiming she is an Israeli soldier, former Israeli soldier, right? And the Southern accent is fake. And I'm not going to lie, her Southern accent does sound fake. When I first heard her speak, not in that video that got her viral, but in a podcast, like a clip of it, I was like, what is up with her voice? It sounds weird. But this person's claiming she has a billionaire dad, and he hired a PR firm to scrub her past off the internet, particularly her old TikTok, where she ain't even speak English, let alone had a fake-ass Southern accent. Well, ain't that for something? Because you know what? The Tuah girl. So this is the epitome of stupidity in the United States. So when I first saw the Hawk Tuah girl, I first saw her, I guess, 2 months ago. I saw her like definitely a few weeks before she blew the hell up. I thought it was funny. I actually genuinely thought it was funny, the video. And then a few weeks later, she just blew the hell up. And then fast forward a month, 2 months, whatever, however long it's been, and she is famous. I mean, this lady now has a whole name to herself for saying Hawk Tuah. And there's also a conspiracy theory as well about her that the Hawk Tuah is actually a saying, like an old saying for Jews to spit on Christians, right? Like the Hawk Tuah, they spit on Christians or whatever. And listen, all these Jewish conspiracy theories, right? The stuff with Israel. You know why I don't like when people use this, the Israelis and or they say it's Israel or they say it's Jews, because it's not accurate. I get it why people would say the Jews and it's Israel. I get why. But you're looking at it now from the religious standpoint instead of who these people actually are spiritually. These people spiritually are the synagogues of Satan. So listen, they call themselves Jews, but they're not. They're just Satanists. It's very simple. It has nothing to do with Jews are bad, Israelis are bad people. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with Rothschild, yeah, they started Israel. They are Satanists. They call themselves Jews, but they're not. It's just like in the scriptures, they say that there's going to be people in this time period, the synagogues of Satan, the people who call themselves Jewish but aren't Jewish. I mean, my question is to Christians out there especially is, who do you think they're talking about? Who do you think that is right now, is what I'm trying to say. You see, Christians are the most deceived group of religious people there is out there. I mean, there's like 3 billion Christians, right, in the world. And I'd be damned to come across a Christian that really actually knows the truth about what's taking place, because there's so much trickery with this stuff. There's so much deceptions. And people just can't see past the deceptions. I don't understand why. It's very simple when you understand it. It really, truly is. But people just overcomplicate things a lot. So anyway, I don't want to go on a rant about that, the whole Israel-Jewish thing, because that's irrelevant here. The point is that this lady is famous for a reason, right? She blew up for a reason. She's got her own merchandise. Jake Paul apparently now is giving her a platform under his name or whatever, his brand or whatever. So I mean, it's just the epitome of stupidity. That's ultimately what it is. It's the epitome of stupidity here in the United States. It is it's stupid that you can get famous for something like this. Hey, maybe she does have ties to higher powers, and maybe she's a bloodline of someone, or maybe she knows the right people. Believe me, that is not out of the question. But the point is that she's famous right now, and all these guys are drooling over a couple words that she said, or a couple sentences, whatever she said in the video. Moving on. There's a difference between money and currency. So it kind of ties back to what I was saying earlier about how people think the system will last forever and all of eternity, when the reality is that if you have so money is gold and silver. Money has always been gold and silver. Currency is the US dollar, fiat currency. All fiat currencies have failed throughout history. There hasn't been a single fiat currency throughout history that has lasted forever, because it'd still be here right now, right? But anyway, the US dollar became fiat currency in 1913, right? The Federal Reserve, when they came in here, thanks to Rothschild, the same people, that created Israel and all that stuff that I was saying before. But anyway, currency is the US dollar. So, for example, if I had an ounce of silver, right? Silver goes for $30 an ounce right now, roughly, all right? Just to make the numbers even, we'll say 30. So, if it takes $30 US to get 1 ounce of silver, and it takes $2,500 to get 1 ounce of gold, which one is going up in value, which one's purchasing power is increasing, and which one is losing value? Obviously the US dollar. And simultaneously, for the first time in history, we have every single country in this world using fiat currency and not gold and silver as its means of exchange. So if the United States is in like $50 trillion of debt, and if the whole world is in debt, to the World Bank or to the money lenders, that means that these people control and own the world practically, because the borrower is a servant to the lender. And that is why the United States dollar is going to collapse. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Because it can happen tomorrow, it could happen next year, it could happen in 5 years. But the point is it's going to happen. You can't keep printing money out of nothing and raising the debt and pricing people out like this, because there's no middle class anymore. There's just rich and poor people. And just because things seem decent in the United States, like there's no like war going on, there's nothing really going on the street at all, that doesn't mean that things can't change in a snap of, I can't snap, but they can't change in a snap of a finger. Just like with COVID. Just like how we all of a sudden had to wear face masks, we got locked up. They changed the way we lived life. And people accepted it. And they will accept it again, more than likely. So that's my rant on that. So I'm sure a lot of you know about this shooting that happened, right, in the school. I don't want to talk about that right now. I'm going to wait for more information to come out, because all I'll say about it is this, because I tweeted about it. This is all I'm going to say about it. It's an attack on the Second Amendment being disguised as a you-know-what, #gun grab. Bitcoin, of course, created by the CIA. Let's not kid ourselves. Bitcoin isn't the freedom to, oh man, what am I doing here? Bitcoin isn't the freedom of, oh, this is how we escape central banks. They created that, man. I mean, come on. Excuse me. I don't want to talk about Bitcoin because it's just really frustrating to me that people are falling for it or think this is like the next big thing. But believe what you want, man. Believe what you want. When you awaken, you will notice the friends you once had turn against you. It's a lonely path. It sure is. It sure is. I was thinking about this the other day, actually, and that's why I retweeted it. When you're surrounded by such ignorant people who believe everything they see on news media, from politicians, from heads of corporations, from the television, from Hollywood celebrities, to what they see on social media from these influencers that got millions and millions of followers, it's just, I can't help but feel just entirely lonely. I can't help but feel so alone, because no matter who it is, no one wants to do anything about the issues that we can all clearly see, that we're going to get to a point where we're going to regret not doing anything. Kind of just like how a lot of people regret getting this, 4 years ago or so. People are going to have deep regrets about the future and about what we could have done to change things. I know that for a fact. And when kids in the future, if they ever wake up and they discover my content or whatever, or they hear about me, at least they can say, I know that they'll say that they can appreciate that I try to at least change stuff, that I at least made an attempt. Maybe it costed me my image at some points. Maybe people stopped hanging out with me over it. Maybe people thought I was weird over it or crazy or whatever. But I know that I can say that I tried to wake people up, that I just didn't sit back on this information, and I didn't at least try to inform people about this. But anyway, I digress. So there was one more thing I want to talk about, because I don't want to make this super long here. It had to do with Andrew Tate, though. Oh, no. Can I not see this now? Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, here we go. So Andrew Tate, who is obviously part of the elite, he is 100% an agent, controlled opposition, the whole nine yards. But anyway, he does say truth from time to time. It's not like he's saying complete lies. They have to tell you truth so that they can reel you in and that they can gain credibility and all this stuff. And this whole sham with him getting arrested. I mean, come on, people. That's the oldest trick in the book. It still works though, apparently. But anyway, I don't know who this dude is, but he popped up because Tate. I don't follow Tate or anything, but he pops up on my page a lot. So anyway, this guy says, my wife and I had our honeymoon in Italy exactly a year ago. Just got an Italian speeding ticket in the mail. 1 year later, LOL. Do I have to actually pay this thing? What happens if I don't? And Tate's response is, you're a faggot, and this display of absolute cowardice at even considering paying this is how Western civilization ended up cut to homos and females. Your wife will one day leave you because she senses your weakness, and you deserve it. So, I'm not going to go in, maybe I took this the wrong way. Maybe a lot of you aren't going to take it the way I took it, because what he said I get why he said it. It's stupid, it's silly, but here's the way I took it. It's like, okay, the speeding ticket, let me ask you something. What do you think would happen if all the speeding tickets that we got in the USA, because that's where I live, in the USA, didn't get paid? I mean, are they going to jail every single person that's in debt right now to them? I don't think there's enough room in a prison, in all these prisons for people that didn't pay. But I have a better example. What if we all collectively as the people, what if 80 to 90% of the United States population stop paying taxes and stop paying insurance, stop paying into all these scams and these shams? What's going to happen? Are they going to come after you and put all of us in jail? They can't. There's way more Americans, and there's way more people, and there's way more guns than there is of the elite and their little minions in this world, not just the USA. So again, my point is that we could completely change the system. We could revolt against the government because that's their biggest fear. The elite's biggest fear is the people revolting against them. I mean, we could change the system and make it in favor of the people instead of a minority of bankers, of politicians, of heads of media, of Hollywood or whatever. We could literally change the world, but people want to stay compliant. And as long as you stay compliant, it's going to get worse. Hate to tell you, but you can keep hoping, you can keep praying that things will get better, but they won't. That's the point. It's not. There is evil, wicked people in control right now. They have deceived and hoodwinked not only people in the USA, not just the Western world, but the whole world is hoodwinked and deceived by a minority of international bankers, and it goes deeper than that. I mean, these people have a spiritual practice. That's the why. People say, well, why do they do that, Justin? Why would someone do that? I don't think there's anyone in this world that evil. Well, first of all, that's a very moronic way to think, because there's people that murder people every day. There's evil people in this world. Most people are good. At least we like to think that, right? Most people are good. I believe most people are good. But there are evil people in this world. And mind you, these elites have a spiritual practice. The New World Order is a satanic agenda that they are fulfilling by the day. They do it through deception, through lies, through trickery, false information, through completely hoodwinking you. And it goes deep, man. It goes with black magic, sorcery, things like that, Freemasonic teachings, ancient teachings from the past, ancient psychology. These people are psychologists. That's really what they are. They are psychologists, and the why is they have a goal of the whole world under one government, worshiping one man. And this will be a satanic type system. It will be disguised as goody-tooty as it always is, but it will be in favor of a few, and it will not be in favor of the majority. This is your best friend, Justin. Have a lovely weekend, everyone.